good? All right, here we go. Salute to Knicks Nation on this Friday evening. Another edition of KnicksFanTV's Bleacher Report simulcast Fan Friday mailbag. CP the franchise in the building on the Solo Dolo. On today's show, we are going to talk about the buyout candidates that's going to be available for the New York Knicks, man. Trade deadline is over. We are going to put a bow on the trade deadline and talk about some potential options for the New York Knicks as they enter into the final stretch of the 24-25 regular season campaign. Plus, Jalen Brunson's all-star plans have been solidified. We're going to tell you about his team in the all-star game, plus Brunson getting involved in the three-point contest. So we'll talk about that and Leon Rose's 5-year anniversary on this day in 2020. The Knicks made it official hiring Leon Rose. So how do we review year 5 or the 5-year tenure so far of Leon Rose, man? I want you guys to call in, call us up on the KFTV Discord. We're going to go for an hour tonight, man. This is the weekend show, Friday grind. Let's lock in, man. CP the franchise on the Solo Dolo. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel, man. CP the franchise on the Bleacher Report Live. Salute, salute, salute. All right, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. YouTube, what's good? Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, salute. Flow174, welcome to the franchise channel members. I was having a little technical difficulties, man. It's a software issue on the production side. Sometimes you just gotta, like, it's like Nintendo, man. Sometimes you just gotta take the cartridge out, throw it back in, and reset the system a little bit. So it was a little bit delayed. But anyway, happy Friday to the family, my franchise channel members. I see you guys in there. Let's get right to it because we were a little bit delayed. Trade deadline is over, and how do we feel? How you guys feeling now that the deadline is over with? You know, the signature move for the Knicks being a swap for swap. Delon Wright for Jericho Sims. The simulation is over. He's headed to Milwaukee, and Delon Wright comes through to make his Knicks debut. How we feel about that? I mean, for me, man, it was like I wasn't expecting them to make any major moves at the trade deadline. Number one, they didn't have the assets to do so. And number two, I didn't think that this was going to be the year where this team got desperate at the trade deadline because, to me, this championship window, this championship contendership is a multi-year project. Some of you guys might not like to hear that, but it is. And when they went out and got Bridges, they got Towns, the depth was gutted. Their wherewithal to go out there and continue to build on the bench was going to be severely limited, at least this year. And so that's what you had. Nevertheless, they did prepare to potentially go out there and make a trade. Remember, when they signed Precious in the offseason, Precious's signing with the team, or re-signing with the team rather, was quite delayed way into the offseason because, number one, he didn't really have a market. And number two, they went out there, they took care of him, they gave him the $6 million deal, but he had to waive that technical no-trade clause. So they were making themselves flexible if they had to make a move at the deadline. But now, when you look at the deadline, you look at their options, they couldn't afford to lose Precious Achiuwa on that $6 million contract. Number one, it was too cheap, where you couldn't get a one-for-one equal swap based on the production that he's putting up this year. And number two, you just could not afford to lose the guy. He's been fantastic with this team. So I thought there was a no-go on Precious. And then there was Mitch. And a lot of fans, well, Mitch is not hurt. He's not healthy. He's always hurt, this, that, and the third. I mean, let's use common sense and logic. What GM out there is going to be, knocking down the Knicks' door to go get Mitchell Robinson, who's often injured and never available for you? You would have had to have paired him with another pick to even get him off. So I didn't see them in the running for Valanciunas, even though they kicked the tires on it, or any of these other center candidates. I just didn't think that was realistic. Plus, he has more than 1 year left on his deal. So you almost had to beg a team to take him off your hands to get something of good value back in return. So the Knicks were very, very limited. And so some of you guys are going to be disappointed that they didn't make a move, but the reality is they just couldn't be desperate. Now, the following offseason, this summer, they'll have some more money to spend. Salary cap goes up, and you got a second-round pick. You hope that you can find some lightning in a bottle and fill out that bench, because the bench is going to need to be filled out. And you might even lose Precious in the offseason. You just never know, man. It's going to be very tricky. But that's how this thing is going to turn into a true championship contender, is how they fill out the bench. So there's that. Now, on the Mitch front, here was Tom Thibodeau meeting with the media today when asked about Mitch, because this was a question that was asked by my guy Ian Begley, who basically asked Thibs, hey, listen, is this a improvement or is this a trade from within, where the Knicks were comfortable with the status of Mitch to where they didn't feel like they had to be so pressured into making a move? So this was Begley's question, and here was Thibs' response. Here we go.
You guys, obviously, at the deadline, you didn't add anybody, not adding a backup center. Does that tell us anything about how you guys feel about Mitchell Robinson and the idea that he's going to be able to take on a role?
Like I said, we like our team a lot, and obviously we're excited about Mitch. But we also feel Ario's done a good job, Precious has done a good job, and so that's really the way we approach it. Leon and his staff, they were on it all year long, so it's not like, I think there's a tendency to think like, oh, this just happens like, a couple days before. They're always looking at, okay, can we improve the club? And if there's something that makes sense, they explore it. And then, you go from there. But we like our team a lot.
You guys,
All right, so that was Thibs. Hey, we like our team a lot. Well, Thibs, you don't really have a choice. So let's just keep it a bean. These are the bullets that we got in the gun. And hey, let's hope it pops off. I'm very much looking forward to Mitch coming back. Thibs also said to the media that Mitch did participate in some of the contact drills today in practice. So did OG Anunoby. However, Mitch has not yet been cleared for the full 5-on-5 scrimmage and practice. So it's going to take a little bit of time. As I said on previous shows, let these guys rest until even after the All-Star break. No rush right now. No rush right now. We're in the 3rd seed. Things are looking all right. We can still catch Boston. Cleveland is probably going to stay in that number 1 spot. You let them go. You got time. Let these guys get fully healthy and on the same page so that they can come back healthy and be ready for April. We're only 2 months away from the start of the playoffs. Basically 2 months away. It's not that much time. Things are going to be running very quickly. As soon as you get past that All-Star break, things are going to be running very fast. So, look, man, I'm very much looking forward to seeing Mitch and Towns together. We're getting a little bit of a taste of that with Huckporty and Towns and Precious and Towns. And those lineups, those 2 big lineups, have been fruitful for the Knicks, especially on the defensive end. That is where Mitchell Robinson, to me, is going to come in handy for this Knicks team. As a paint deterrent, as a rim deterrent, that length, the wingspan. Teams are going to be second guessing. If you could just disrupt some rhythm a little bit, while at the same time you got your wings flying around, you have OG flying around, Hart, Bridges flying around, which you help defense, I think Mitch is going to help a lot. Now, he's not going to start, and they shouldn't start him. Bring him along slowly. You guys heard Stephon Marbury on this show talk about, hey, listen, don't expect Superman when he first gets in. First couple minutes up and down the court, his chest is going to be burning. So we're going to give him some time, get up to game speed. But what I've always liked about keeping Mitch and still going with the Towns at the 5 lineup is optionality, is flexibility with your 5-man lineups. You can go small and draw the opposing big away from the basket. We saw how great, how potent this Knicks offense can be with Towns at the 5. Or you can go big, clog things up for the other team. Now, that also means that Towns is going to have to be guarding opposing 4s. But now you have 2, 3 maybe ferocious rebounders. You put Hart, Towns, and Mitch out there. So your defense becomes stronger on the defensive end. You get more offensive rebounds. You get more second chance opportunities. So you never know. They may find advantages even playing big against smaller lineups who aren't able to exploit them. So I just like that variability of getting Mitch in there. If you want to get a little bit more fast, if you want to get a little bit faster with the 2 big lineup, you put Precious in there. Maybe Huck Porty did a great job on Scotty Barnes on Wednesday night, or Tuesday night rather. So there's a lot of ways that they can go here. Now, some of you are going to say, hey, listen, we're putting a lot of eggs in the Mitch basket. This is what we have. You let him go out there. You see what he does. You evaluate at the end of the season. That's just what it's going to be. So to everybody in the chat, call me on the Discord. Let me know what's your thoughts. Now, we talk about the buyout market, because that's the next place where this Knicks team is going to be potentially looking for an upgrade. The buyout market. Unfortunately, yesterday, a candidate that I liked, Torrey Craig, went to the champs. Torrey Craig went to Boston off the buyout market after getting cut from the Chicago Bulls. So that was a little unfortunate. He was a guy I would have liked, give you some versatility at the wing, because I think the wing position is vital for them to fill. And some people are like, man, how many wings do we need? Hey, you can never have enough wings. You can never have, just like in baseball, you can never have enough pitching. In basketball, you can never have enough wings. And especially with OG Anunoby's injury history now, I think it's going to be even more vital for them to get a guy who can play the wing and give him a spell. This is your $200 million investment. If he's no good for you in the playoffs, this thing is going to crash and burn. So they got to tread lightly here with OG when he comes back from the foot injury. Thibs said he did some drills today. He did a little practice today, but they're still going to keep it day to day. Let him rest. So they need a wing off the bench. That bench is very short. Shamet is not a true wing. He's 6'4". He's not Josh Hart. He's got good energy from a defensive standpoint. He's got good instincts. But he doesn't have the size. He doesn't have the wingspan. He doesn't have the toughness physically. He doesn't have the stature. So we'll see if they can get lucky there. Some of you guys are hoping for on the Dottier train. I say look next year for that. Number one, he's hurt. He's nursing a toe injury. Number two, whenever you see him out there, he's woefully overmatched. Give him some time to develop. Life of Aaliyah, I see you. Josh87, I see you on the YouTube side. Bleacher Report side. Salute to Tino212. Tino, I see you in there. What's good? Salute to Tino212. Instagram, what up, man? Salute to you guys on the Instagram side. Luke Nimbus says TJ Warren. Well, we better hope that TJ Warren is still around, because his teammate in Westchester, Chumo Keke, headed down the turnpike to Philly. He got a bag from Philly. Hey, you can't turn down these opportunities. So hopefully, man, I hope that TJ's got a promise from the Knicks, because he could be next. TJ Warren. I think that would be the most likely scenario if they're going to go into the buyout market. Remember, they can't sign any of these guys on the buyout market until February 28th/March 1st, when the vet minimum contracts are prorated to a lower amount. The Knicks are $533,000 closer to that second apron. That is why they couldn't go out there and get Torrey Craig yesterday. They would have went over the second apron. You can't do that. They can't go over the second apron. They're hard capped at the second apron this year. So they've got to wait until the end of the month when the contracts are prorated, and then hopefully you cross your fingers that you can get a guy like a Torrey Craig. Now let's look at some other potential candidates. This is from our guy Tommy Beer. Check him out on Twitter. Some potential buyout candidates who he's listing. He does have Javonte Green as a potential candidate. Will New Orleans go out there and buy him out? They just traded Brandon Ingram to the Raptors. Not sure what the hell the Raptors are doing with that. But hey, does that signal that the Pelicans are just ready to scrap this thing, destroy and rebuild. Could Javonte Green get bought out? And then, hey, there's your potential wing upgrade. Chris Boucher with the Toronto Raptors. I just spoke to my guy, Esfandiar Bahraini, covers the Raptors and also covers the NBA for The Athletic. He said highly doubtful. Anything's possible, but he said highly doubtful that Boucher becomes available. He thinks that the Raptors are keen to sign Chris Boucher. I mean, who's going to let a, rangy wing like a Chris Boucher just walk like that? I find that hard to believe. So I do find that plausible that they would want to re-sign him. He's averaging 10 points, 4 rebounds on 50% shooting, 7'4" wingspan, 32 years old, and he's 6'9". I don't think you just send guys like that packing if you can't trade him. Sean Ramos, salute to Sean Ramos in the chat. Salute to you, man. Salute to Flow 174. Flow, I see you. How you feeling? Salute to the family, man. We in here on a Friday night. Call me up on the Discord. We here, man. We here on a Friday night, man. We're gonna go a little bit longer on today's show because we got a lot to talk about. I am hyped. I do like these. Extended time off. I do like that because he can, he catch up on life and things of that nature. But at the same time, I'm kind of itching for Knicks basketball here. Kind of fiend out. So yeah, man. Salute to the family, man. Hope you guys are doing well. PJ Tucker, no thank you. Larry Nance Jr., he's another guy. Not so sure if he's going to hit the market, but hey, if he does, I would love to. Remember one thing about the buyout market. Any player who gets bought out who was making $12.8 million or more, that's about the mid-level exception in the NBA. The Knicks can't get him. That's part of the CBA rules. The CBA rules are just ridiculous. Any player making northwards of $12.8 million on their previous deal, the Knicks cannot go out there and sign. So like a Bruce Brown, if he gets clipped, no. As an example. So, some of these guys would not be in play. Daniel Tice just got cut, but are the Knicks in the need for another center? I think that would be in an emergency situation if Mitch can't go or he gets hurt or Huck Porty or Precious goes down. I would like Tice. Jaden Springer, Nashawn Highland, that's Bones. Nah. Seth Curry. Somebody asked me about Seth Curry. Look, he can shoot. We know that. We know that's his skill set, but we need a wing, man. We don't need another guard. Don't need any more guards. Life of Leo, $12.8 million over annually. Yeah, Marcus Smart, no. Did the Knicks chick said Big Money Burks? So the next chick in the chat said Big Money Burks. I saw Bonnie talking about Taj. Unless he's coming with a clipboard and sit his ass next to Mo Cheeks, in between Cheeks and Rick, no thank you. Once a Nick, always a Nick. Can come back to the barbecue. We don't need a fourth tour of Taj Gibson. We don't need that. Marvin Bagley III, no. Lonnie Walker IV, I would entertain that. I would definitely entertain Lonnie Walker IV. Chris Darte, hey, I guess. But he's a guy, he never really panned out, man. He flamed out super fast. Reggie Jackson. So, no. So these are just some names that Tommy Beer had listed. Look, it's the buyout market, man. We're going to the Dollar Tree shopping right now. So, we're looking for spam. We ain't looking for a filet mignon. So we just got to be very realistic with what we're dealing with here. Similar to, this Delon Wright acquisition for Jericho Sims. And Delon Wright will rock number 0 for the Knicks. There he is up at Tarrytown getting some run in the orange and blue. That's Delon Wright rocking number 0. Does a 0 stand for 0 minutes in Thibs' rotation? Does a 0 stand for 0 points? I mean, he's averaging 2 points a game. I made this joke on the Begley Show. We always clap after the guys that have that 50, 40, 90 slash line, right? 50% from the field, 40 from 3, 90 from the free throw line. Delon Wright you could damn near slash that in half right now because he's shooting 26% from the field, 24.5 from three, and 56% from the free throw line. So you can slash that 50, 40, 90 in half, and you got Delon Wright. Nowhere to go but up from here. Nowhere to go but up, man. First Lady of Sports said his name is Delon. Well, yes, because he is known for his defense. So in that regard, if Shamet ain't got it, hey, Shamet, you hit the bench. Delon Wright, you up next for your 5 minutes of fame. See what he can do. Get up there, pester a guy for 90 feet, jump in the passing lanes, get aggressive, use all your 5 fouls. Hey, why not? Why not? See what he can do. And again, I mentioned this on the Begley show with Delon Wright. Hey, remember last year when we were down guys, we were losing soldiers by the minute in the playoff war. By the time you look down at the bench, and some of you guys like, man, Thibs didn't go to the bench. Was Thibs supposed to go to Daquan Jeffries to win him a game in the playoffs? Was he supposed to go to Diakite in the playoffs? They had nobody left. Everybody was out. So, hey, break glass in case of emergency. Delon Wright, it might be your time. Say campaign pulls up. He's shooting too many jumpers and he sprains his wrist or something. Hey, Delon Wright, Cam, you out. Delon Wright, you in. So the Delon Wright era begins. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel, CP the Franchise on the Bleacher Report simulcast. If you guys are still at work or you guys are on the way home, man, throw hashtag grind on the chat. Let me know if you guys are in here, man. Friday night, we vibing. Hope everybody's going to have a good weekend. And you know where you need to be this weekend. You know where you need to be this weekend. At the #1 watch party for the fans, by the fans. Yeah, we are back. We ain't scared. Clinton Hall 36 is where you need to be, ladies and gentlemen, in the tri-state area. Clinton Hall 36, Knicks versus Celtics revenge game. The watch party of all watch parties, man. 16 West 36th Street. Doors will open at 7 p.m. Meet us over there. Free with RSVP. Just go to KFTVWatch.com. Free with RSVP. All right, so meet us over there, Clinton Hall 36. And we in there, man. We ain't never scared, man. You know what I'm saying? You scared, you stay at home and you pull up with your blanket, man. This was some of the shots from Slate from our last week's watch party. Shout out to Darius for taking this. You know what I mean? It was a great affair. Shout out. We had Tina Servasio pulled up. My guy Ben Lyons. If you look at the roommates' jerseys in the back, Brunson and Hart, all autographed. People went home with those with the silent auction. We had a blast. My guy Caleb Silver, editor-in-chief, Investopedia.com. Shout out to Caleb. Make sure you tapping into that. Get your investments on. Get your investing education on. You know what I'm saying? Slate was popping. So this Saturday will be at Clinton Hall 36. So make sure y'all meet me over. This was I'm showing one of the winners of the Brunson autographed jersey. So shout out to her, man. She came away a big winner by pulling up to the watch party. Okay. And speaking of the captain is going to have himself a busy all-star because number one, he's going to be participating in the three-point contest again. Yeah, Jalen Brunson going to be participating in the three-point contest once again in the All-Star game, and he will be going up against Cade Cunningham, Darius Garland, Tyler Hero, Buddy Hield, Cam Johnson, Dame Dollars going back for it. He's going back for another championship, and Norman Powell. What do we think about the field? What do you think, man? One thing is that a three-point contest, it's different. Just because you're a good three-point shooter doesn't necessarily mean you could win in a contest. Completely different. It's about timing. It's about rhythm. But hey, as always, we're going to be rooting for Captain Clutch to bring it home for the orange and blue. Skip Righty, I see you on the grind. Shout out to Skip Righty. Shout out to everybody in Puerto Rico. I see you. Jordy 45 Keys NYC on the IG side. Ice Handsome in the building. Salute to Ice. Salute to you guys, man. And salute to everybody on the YouTube side. So yeah, happy for Captain Clutch. He's going to be participating in the three-point contest. And, hey, get involved, man. Last year, I forgot what place he came in last year. But, hey, he'll certainly do better than Julius. Yeah, Walter Inns. Julius certainly learned that. Just because he's shooting 40% from three, don't matter. Skilo's asking, what's the word on Chris Boucher? Yeah, I had mentioned it. I spoke to a Raptors insider, my guy, Esfandiar Bahraini, and follow him on Twitter. He's a good follow, very knowledgeable basketball analyst. Just his opinion, didn't think it was likely that he was going to get bought out by Toronto. He thinks that they're going to want to re-sign him. And I just find it hard to believe that a 6'9", unless, like, you know, the relationship with him and Ujiri and those guys are so fractured that he's like, get me out of here. I find it hard to believe that a 6'9" wing, 7'4" wingspan, averaging 10 and 4, they're just going to let him walk out the door. I don't know. Anything's possible, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think Dame certainly, I would look at Dame and Buddy Hield in this one. Dame knows how to do it. Dame is used to it. So I'm going with Dame and Buddy Hield. Now, also, so that'll be Jalen Brunson Saturday. So we got an action-packed weekend. I'll be tapped in, and we'll be rooting for Captain Clutch. But how about this? The actual Sunday teams were announced, and the teams have been drafted, and Jalen Brunson will be playing for Team Kenny, the starting point guard, and he will team up with Ant-Man Anthony Edwards, Triple J Jaren Jackson Jr., Jalen Williams, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Cade, and Tyler Hero. I keep laughing at, who was that? Cody Glock said that Tyler Hero looked like G.I. Jane. That's funny. But that's Team Kenny. But now look at these other teams, and let's really dissect this thing here. Team Charles Barkley. This is where our guy, the Big Bodega, is at. He's on Team Charles. They've got the Big Bodega, the MVP Nikola Jokic, the Greek Freak Giannis. This year, who I feel like is the MVP, SGA Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They got Wemby, Pascal Siakam, Alperen Sengun, and the Spider. I do like Chuck's squad. It's very balanced and talented. But here we go with this. Team Shaq. They got Bron, the Chef, AD, Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, Dame, James Harden, and Jaylen Brown. How did they let Shaq get this team? Marvin Diaz in the chat said, Kenny drafted blind. What was Kenny doing? You know what I'm saying? That's what I was thinking when I first saw these teams. Like, what was Kenny thinking here when he was drafting? I mean, you got superstars on Team Shaq. You got the 2 MVPs, or 3 if you count, if Shai Gilgeous wins this one on Team Chuck with our guy, the Big Bodega, and the Spider, and Wemby. I like that team. That would obviously be my starting 5, right? That would obviously be the starting. I would have to be the starting 5 somehow, some way. And then you got Kenny with like the smallest team on mankind. But here's the thing, though. I do think that Team Kenny, led by the captain Jalen Brunson, I think that they will be the team because, like, you know, we want to see if these guys are going to play hard. I think they will. I think they will be the team that plays the hardest. Like, think about it. JB's going to be hungry. You know J-Dub is going to be hungry. He's playing. He looks like a guy, he don't care what type of game it is. He's playing. I think Cade is the type of guy that's going to go hard. And you know Ant-Man is going. So I think the competitiveness on Team Kenny is good. He might have went with the right squad here. Because if you look at Team Shaq, like, you know Bron is going to be chucking it from half court. You know the Chef at home, he's going to be looking to hit 5-pointers. They are ferocious, though. Team Shaq is ferocious, though. I'm not going to lie to you. This is a potent squad right here. It's a potent squad. I still think, like, even though this is going to be interesting, and obviously we're going to be watching because our guys are in it, this model, because this is the way it's going to go. You have these 3 teams, plus Candace Parker is going to be coaching the winner of the Rising Stars Challenge. So you're going to have 4 teams. They're going to split up in 2 semifinal games with game to 40, and then they're going to have a final game to 40. But, like, what's the point of the prestige of being named an all-star starter if you're just going to chop the teams up like that? You know what I mean? Like, I would have liked to have seen Jalen and the Big Bodega on the same team. So like, carving up the teams like that, I'm still going to be interested. And like I said, I think Jalen's team is going to be very competitive. And I also said this the other day. I think that the Rising Stars winner, because the Rising Stars game, they always play hard. They've historically played hard. So I think the Rising Stars winner could almost serve as like, a pace setter, if you will. To kind of, no one's going to want to lose to that team. So the Rising Stars winner could pose a challenge here in this thing and throw a curveball in there. I hope. I guess that's the hope. Right? Like, you want to see them be competitive, at least. So that's what I'm hoping for. So, yeah, very interesting stuff here, man. Very interesting stuff. What did you guys think of the jerseys this year? I think they're cool. I like them. I haven't always liked them. I'm more of the old school guy. But I like them. You got an all red. You have an all baby blue, Carolina bluish. And then I'm a navy blue guy, so you got the navy look. I like it. What do you guys think about the jerseys this year? I don't know what the Rising Stars are going to wear, but these are the 3 jerseys for the pro teams. So we'll see. But yeah, I'll be into it, man. I always am. I always give the All-Star game a look, even though I'm just one of those old school guys who just can't stand where the game is gone. I went on my soapbox the other day on my diatribe. I'm old school, man. East versus West. The best versus the best. Magic wanted to challenge Jordan. Shaq wanted to challenge Elijah. Ewing wanted to challenge David Robinson. Head up. Shoot the fair one. This is the time. And, of course, I was always rocking with the East. I mean, how could you not rock with the East? We had Ewing and we had Jordan every year. Then we had my guy Penny Hardaway. Penny was one of my favorite players of all time. So I was always rocking with the East, obviously. Then off the bench, you had like the Glove, Gary Payton. You had Glenn Rice, Dumars, Detlef Schrempf. Did he make it? I think he made it one of them years. Mark Price. You had the shooters off the bench. Sean Kemp. Those were the days, man. Those were the days. Ricky Pierce. Don't sleep on Ricky Pierce. For you youngins at home, look up some Ricky Pierce highlights. Ricky Pierce was getting busy. Rhyme Animal Chuck D's in the chat. He'll tell you. So, yeah, that's how it's looking on the All-Star. Let me know what you guys think, man. Let me know what you guys think. Happy Friday to the family. Salute to you guys, man. So, Jalen is going to have a busy All-Star. Looking forward to that. And Karl Anthony Towns will be involved as well. Okay. What else we got on the docket here? Oh, Leon Rose, year 5. Can you guys believe it, man? Time flies. Leon Rose on this day in 2020. The Rose era began, man. Dolan pulled the trigger and went for the player agent route to put the team together. He went that way. And so the question is tonight for everybody is, how do you guys rate the Rose regime so far? What is your grade for the Rose regime so far? If I have to give you mine, like if I'm going to give a letter grade, I'm going to say a B and maybe even an A minus. Yeah, I'm going to go even an A minus. They brought stability here. They brought us out of the dark ages. Knicks were in the dark ages for 20 odd years. 20 years. They were in the dark ages, man. Leon and these guys, they brought us out of the dark ages. And in a lot of ways. Number one, bringing Thibs here. Yes, Thibs haters, we're going to get on KnicksFanTV. Starts now. Bringing Thibs here. You brought a coach that you can set the groundwork for the culture. That was vital in bringing Thibs here. They made the playoffs. What, three out of the 4 years? 3 out of 4 years so far. Headed for 4 out of 5. Excellent job. Brought in the coach. One of the things that good leaders do is surround themselves with talented individuals. You don't want to be the smartest person in the room. You guys hear that? In business terms, you don't want to be the smartest person in the room. He brings in Brock Aller. Manage the cap. We got this second apron thing coming up, the new CBA. Study it. We got to know what to do, not just today, but tomorrow. We got to set it up, and they do that. You see how this team plays chess. The moves, the players that they have now, they could not have gotten if they were not prepared last year, the year before that, the year before that. Everything has been a domino effect in how they put this team together. Aller, Perrin. You get Gerson Rosas. You get Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that they needed Rosas to do that, but you got a guy in here who's known to have relationships. This is a relationship business. So you bring him in there. You got Worldwide Wes. Still don't know his job. He's like Tommy from Martin, but welcome. Welcome, Wes. We love you anyway. I don't know what he does. He's like Tommy from Martin, but I rock with him. Every time I see Wes, I'm like, yo, there's Wes, man. Shout out to Wes. Shout out to you, Unc. You know? Walt Perrin, the scouts. You know, look at all of the later round. You know, lottery didn't work out. The Obi pick, dud pick. Right? Didn't bat 1,000. The Obi pick was a dud pick. But quick. Deuce. The late rounders. You know, Grimes had his ups and downs. So I think they drafted well. They managed the cap very well. They managed the cap very well. And they did not, until this past summer, mortgage the future on stupid moves. I'm not saying the Bridges move is stupid. That will be evaluated in a few years. But they did not mortgage the future. They did not make any panic moves. And sure, they had plan A's that didn't work out. Hey, when the first year, when they made the playoffs for the first time in 8 years, I mean, this roster, I mean, even before that, let's go before that to what this roster looked like during that, before they even got, this team together. Let me go back here. I'm pulling it up on the Strickland. Let's take a look at the roster prior to Leon Rose getting here. Take a look at this. Take a look at this roster. Remember Kadeem Allen? They drafted RJ, Iggy Brazdakis. Bullock was good. Bullock was a good player for us for a couple of years. Whole team Dot. I did like Dotson for a little bit, but then he fell off very, very fast. Wayne Ellington, wasted time. Taj was good. Very good for us. Mo Harkless. Knox, flamed out. Mook. Marcus Morris. Shout out to Scott Perry. He was able to flip Marcus Morris, who was playing like damn near mellow, and they ultimately used that pick to draft quickly. Making some moves to draft quickly. Frank Ntilikina was a dud. Peyton, serviceable, and then turned into a player but that was fine. Portis didn't work out here. Julius, great for what he was. Mitch, elder statesman. Dennis Smith Jr. and Alonzo Trier. That was the roster that Leon Rose was looking at when he got here. First year, he takes DSJ and a second-round pick and brings back Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose gets here and becomes the best player on the team. Right or wrong? They make the playoffs for the first time in 8 years. They brought in a guy who could take pressure off of Julius and RJ. Wasn't perfect, but this is the foundation that they had. They were working on. They had to move some chairs around to get this thing steady. And so they were able, one of the things I like with that they were able to do is acquire players on the margins. Derrick Rose. All right, they tried something with Cam Reddish. The coach wasn't on the same page with that. It flamed out. It was a dud. It is what it is. But then they take Cam Reddish and a conditional first conditional first and turn it into one of the best trades in franchise history, Josh Hart. Phenomenal move. One of the best trades, a fleece, and the Knicks don't fleece anybody. A lot of luck comes into team building. They're lucky that Dallas, who now we see as a history devaluing players, devalued Jalen Brunson enough that they can go out there and get him. They made the chess move. They bring Rick to the coaching staff. They punted on the draft to what a lot of us were disappointed in, but they were playing the chess move. They brought in number 11. 3 years later, he's the captain of the team. He's a superstar in the league, and he's making his all-star appearance for the second time, the starting point guard for the Eastern Conference All-Stars. How about the move that they made to get DiVincenzo with the mid-level exception? A player who arguably made a case for Sixth Man of the Year last year if it wasn't for the games played requirement that he missed. Steal. They drafted a player in Emmanuel Quickley who finished second in the league in Sixth Man of the Year running. Big pick. Julius, All-Star, All-NBA. They had the gumption, the stones, the balls to turn RJ and Quick and go get OG Anunoby. How that works out in the end, we'll see. Injury prone, yes, but the record with the team is undeniable. When he's healthy, that was a major, major trade that they made in terms of putting together a cohesive roster. RJ and Julius didn't fit. We knew that one of those guys was going to have to go. And ultimately, both those guys had to go to get even better, to raise your ceiling even higher. So, they trade those guys. They trade Julius to bring in Karl Anthony Towns. They changed the offense. And so all the moves that they made in these last 5 years has put them in a position to be a true contender. We'll see, because Cleveland made their moves and they're much stronger. But how do I put it? A respectable contender. They can be in the conversation. And depending on how things play out this season, who knows what can happen. We haven't even seen this team at full strength. So in these 5 years, these guys have done, and it's not easy, man. These guys have done so much to put a cohesive roster together that is now winning 40 to 50 games a year, 3rd, 4th, 5th seed in the East consistently. They've changed the identity. They've went from a predominantly defensive team to a high-octane offense. How about the Deuce contract? Somebody said in the chat. That's not easy. Think about this. As they say, there's many different pathways to building a contender, right? But the majority of the winners have come from the draft. Who won it last year? The Celtics, Brown and Tatum. The Nuggets, Jokic and Murray. The dynasties have always been draft. Always been led by the draft. Golden State. Bron when he won it with Cleveland. And Kyrie. So they had to go at a completely unconventional path to put a respectable contender on the court. And so now comes the hardest part. And that is going to be the subtle tweaks to get there. They have a superstar on Brunson. They have two guys in the top 10 in MVP ladder with Towns. OG, McCall, like they're right, they're there. They just need a little bit more, just a little bit more. But make no mistake, these 5 years, they've done a hell of a job turning this thing around. Turning this thing around, man. So, hey, we'll see. Time will tell. But let me know your thoughts, man. Call us up in the KFTV Discord. I want to hear from you guys. And I'm going to kick it off with my guy, LD. LD on the Discord. Hello, sir. How are you? Happy Friday, man.
Happy Friday to you, too.
Go again. Go again, because your volume, it's not typically at your volume. Check your volume.
Hear me?
Yeah, but it's kind of...
I can hear you like delay though. It seems like there's a delay on your voice too.
There's a delay on my voice. Hang on. Let me just check. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. We got to get this right.
I can hear the YouTube video from like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, that shouldn't be. All right, you jump out your Discord and jump back in, and then let me see if it's my end. Say Quizzy, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. How you feeling?
Feeling good, and to me, I'm gonna give the grade an A because
what
we've been through, it been terrible. Like right now, I feel like we would have been like the Toronto right now. We're quickly building around quickly. RJ, if that Brunson move didn't work, because I think they was in the playoffs watching Brunson, so like that plan right there was amazing because we didn't make it to the playoffs. I think we got Kemba Walker. It didn't work.
Didn't work.
What you say?
I said it didn't work. You know, they rolled the dice. They tried to get cheap options in Kemba. They did pay Fournier. They didn't want Norman Powell, who was playing well. They wanted Norman Powell. I don't know if it was because, remember, Norman Powell had gotten the 5-year deal from the Blazers, and they went with 3 and an option. Everybody they got, they wanted with a player option. Norman Powell got 5 years from the Blazers, and they immediately regretted it and shipped him off to the Clippers.
Yeah, like the moves that they did, I think it was amazing because like freaking we would have been building around like RJ and them outside of like Brunson. And then the good part about it is the players that came wasn't stars. Randall wasn't a star. He came to the Knicks, became a star. Brunson wasn't a star, came to the Knicks, became a star.
Yeah.
Even Hartenstein, I didn't know who Hartenstein was.
I didn't even mention iHeart. Yeah, I didn't even mention iHeart. Big pickup.
I didn't know who he was until he came to the Knicks. He had a rough start, but then he finished out real good. Even DiVincenzo, he had 1 year, but that 1 year, everybody's going to remember that shot. That shot in the playoffs is going to be everywhere, but I like how we didn't really do too much moves because I think the only person that really wanted was Walker Kessler, I think his name, from the Jazz, but they asked for too much, so I was like, that's not happening.
That's right.
I'm going to say good luck to Sims. I wish him the best. Hopefully he comes out good, but we need Mitch because that cat game with the Rockets, he fouls a lot, so we need somebody that could protect Cat because what's his name from the Wizards that just got traded? They was talking about getting him, but I'm like, that ain't enough defense.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we ain't make no moves. We do need another wing because OG's probably not going to play Boston. I don't want him to play. I'd rather him be back after the All-Star break. You don't want him to be hurt. It'll be better if he in the playoffs playing Boston than trying to come back early.
Yes, sir.
But right now, the trade is good. And the only thing, we need another wing because Precious, I think they got to switch the lineup for tomorrow's game.
What do you want to do?
Because I don't know. They might have to play Deuce because who is going to be guarding Brown? It's going to be Hart, right? So after that, where's Precious going to be guarding?
Hey, that man Tatum. Hey, that's just what it is. That's just what it is, man.
That Thompson kid killed them last game. I don't know.
I know, man. I know. Hey, listen.
If Brown or Tatum see that matchup, they might be like, yo, what are they doing?
Yeah. Hey.
Why they got him on me?
Well, you can go. No, I'm trying to think here. Hang on.
Because it's gonna be Mikal maybe on Tatum.
Yeah. You're gonna put
Hart
Mikal on Tatum.
on Brown.
Hard on Brown. Yes.
Cat on Porzingis.
Yeah.
So what you gonna put him on White?
Oh no.
Still got Brunson, or
you're gonna
you
have,
gonna put
you're
on
gonna have
Holiday?
to. Nah, you're
Too
gonna have
fast.
to. You're gonna have to put Precious on Tatum.
Yeah, it's either gonna be Tatum or Brown. Yeah,
Yeah,
gotta be one of them.
you're gonna have to put Precious on one of those guys, man. Hold it down. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
hopefully we take this dub tomorrow, but that's all I really got to say.
Let's go, Quizzy. Good to hear from you, man. Say Quizzy on the Discord. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit that thumbs up button for your boy CP the Franchise. On the Friday, we cooking, man. We cooking, man. I'm trying to get my Knicks fix in. One more game until showtime. One more sleep until showtime. And hey, remember to support our sponsors, man. Shout out to Mando Whole Body Deodorant. Fellas, man, Valentine's Day is just a week away. Hey, before you set up the date, make sure that you come in correct on V-Day, man. Cop some Mando Whole Body Deodorant, clinically proven to block odor for up to 72 hours. All right? No aluminum. And so shopmando.com, they have a number of variants of their deodorant that you can try as well. Solid stick, liquid, spray. So no reason, no excuses, fellas, to be out there caught lacking. And I'm giving you $5 off the starter pack at Mando. You go to shopmando.com, use my code KFTV for $5 off the starter pack. All right? Very good deal. And shout out to our guys at Mando, man. They've been holding us down all season long. I rock with it. I rock with the spray in particular. I like the spray type of deodorant. But yeah, 72 hours. Still got to take a shower, all right? And this ain't the substitute for showers. But it'll hold you down. Shout out to ShopMando. ShopMando.com. Use code KFTV for $5 off the starter pack. Okay, back to the show. So to Steve Lacey, he says, excellent job considering where we started from, but boy, is there a lot of talent and formidable teams in the league. Love the spirit of the team, and they are enjoyable to watch right now. Yeah, I agree with that, Steve, on the Facebook side. I agree with you on that one. Salute to you. Salute to Steve, man. Salute to Steve. Okay. All right, let's get to some more calls here. Leon Rose, year 5. What do you guys think, man? The Knicks fix. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
CP, what up, man? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. How you feeling, man?
What's going on, man? Yeah, so in regards to, let's see, Leon year 5, I think that's I'll probably give him the same thing, an A-. You know why, man? Because the only bad move that he made was the Kemba Walker signing and the Evan Fournier, right?
Yeah.
So he had to, I think, I can't remember, but he had to trade a pick to get out from under the contract, right?
Yes.
Right, so that's the only thing. I mean, he had to pick, but then again, he created that cap space later on and then signed JB with it.
That was the setup.
Right, so that's probably the only 2 bad deals I think he's made. You know, he signed iHeart. Even the marginal moves that he made, man, like trading Grimes, he still got back, you know, a second rounder here that he later flipped, getting back Derrick Rose again. You know, I think what Leon Rose was able to do with the Knicks was he was able to take a team and they played above their head, right? So going back to like Reggie Bullock, who's that? Nerlens Noel, right?
Oh, the Nerlens Wall, the human body cast. Shout out to him. Yeah, shout out to him.
Right. So essentially what he did was when he came in, Thibodeau took that entire team, they played above their head, and then they were able to flip them up. So they kept trading up, right? And eventually they kept trading up, and then boom, now you have this lineup. The things that go under the rug about Leon Rose is his draft of Quick and Toppin. Toppin was kind of he was drafted to be the Julius Randle replacement.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, like the haul that they got for him was still what? Like I think CP they got like 2 second rounders for him, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Right. So that's probably the only thing, man. I mean, like other than that, I think the last GM the Knicks had that was probably decent was who? Dave Checketts.
I mean, Walsh did some good things. Grunwald did some good things until they backed him into the Bargnani trade, which was a complete disaster.
Right. Oh yeah, Walsh. I forgot.
Yeah.
See that Donnie Walsh was probably
except for Jordan Hill, he sucked. But hey, listen, nobody bats 1,000.
Exactly. Donnie Walsh might have been the only. he didn't want to give up everything that he did for that Melo trade.
He didn't.
He was forced to.
Yes.
So Leon Rose is probably the only dude in probably like 20 years that has full autonomy of the Knicks.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, yeah, like I can't wait. Honestly, I wanted to touch on this subject with you, bro. That lineup, I can't wait for Mitch to come back because Mitch, Precious, Cam, and Deuce off the bench.
Yeah.
If we could just, I think so. I was looking up the cap hit, right? So salary wise. Sims made 2.09 mil on he was a cap hit, and then 2.08 mil was a cap hit for DeLon Wright. So if you cancel that out, it's about 10K, right?
Go again with Sims and who and DeLon Wright.
Okay, so
okay, Sims, okay, I got you now. I got you. Yep, go ahead.
Right. So we ended up only shaving off 10K off of the margin.
Yes.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is, I don't know how this helps us. Maybe like that 10K helps us down the line, but
yeah,
we'll see, man. Hopefully we can sign TJ Warren with that money. But yeah, man, stay up, CP.
Peace up, man. Peace out, bro. Have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend, man. Change the scenery for change the scenery, man. That's how I see it. You know, and maybe DeLon Wright gives us a spark. Shaman's not giving you anything right now. Maybe DeLon Wright gives you a little spark. Maybe you find a shooting touchback. He's a much scrappier defender than Shaman. Go out there, man. Guard up 90 feet, man. Use all your bullets, use all your energy, and make it happen. You know, go out there and scrap. I'm with it. LD, go ahead. You back?
Yep. Hear me?
Much better.
I give Leon Rose an A plus. Holla, 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 holla.
Okay.
A plus.
Okay.
All across.
Okay.
I always think he gives us the best logical roster available that keeps us competitive while also not destroying our future. He's an amazing bargain shopper. Amazing.
Yes.
Another thing that folks cannot forget is last season, the trades that he made at the deadline, Bogey, bringing in, who else did he bring in? He brought Burks back. Like, he's an amazing. They're running a great operation in the front desk, front office right now. Yeah. I believe so. And it's funny because we had a conversation about 2 weeks ago, prior to this trade deadline, where I said that I believe he's given us the best possible roster to actually win a championship this season. I know you felt like we still need some other pieces. Well, those pieces are not here. So now my question for you is this, and I think you've kind of answered it earlier today because you said a respectable competitor or something like that.
Yes.
How do you feel about our chances going forward?
Well, look, obviously the Cleveland move for DeAndre Hunter to me was ferocious.
That was crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that one hit me pretty hard at the trade deadline. Right. I said, damn, you know.
I don't trust Cleveland though. They always fold. So I ain't scared of them.
Yeah, I know. But you know, maybe something is different. Maybe Atkinson is that change. And you know, Garland and Mitchell have seemed to have put their egos aside, put their differences aside.
Right.
Mobley's maturity and Allen being steady. They still got Strus, Ty Jerome. Like, their depth is different too, man. Their depth is different.
It is. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw that, I'm like, Atlanta, this how y'all doing? Word? Damn. Yeah. Okay.
So, I mean, look, yes, it still has to be proven in the playoffs. For us, it's always going to be health and matchups.
Right.
Health and matchups. Let's just see how
Atlanta really gave them that Hunter deal, though.
Yeah. Looks like the Hawks are going to rebuild. It's going to be interesting. They shipped off Bogdanovich to the Clippers. See where Trae Young goes. Where does Trae Young end up? It looks like Hawks are headed for rebuild around Jalen Johnson and Reese Shea.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. I couldn't believe that. But I still like our chances. One thing that I will say that's interesting, I know I've mentioned on this forum multiple times about the Knicks pick and roll, 5th year in a row. For the pick and roll for the roll man, we ranked dead last.
Yeah.
This is gonna be the Sims crew, the Sims, like Jericho Sims crew are gonna pay attention to one thing. The team that he just got shipped to ranked number 1 in pick and roll for the roll man. So let's see if Sims becomes a high flying pick and roll artist. But nonetheless, I mean, I still like our chances no matter what, because again, Leon, Mr. A++++, is in the front office. You know, that's how I see it.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Have a good weekend. Appreciate the call, man.
You too.
And Leon, we trust. This has been great, man. Like I said, we've been in the dark for 20 years, man. Can't take for granted what a solid leadership and decision-making has gotten us. Flow 174, shout out to you. Welcome to the Franchise Channel members on the YouTube side. Ryan Animal, Chuck D, $5 super chat. Franchise Channel member as well says, remember, CP Thibs transforms players into his system. He can find a certain type and then make them work. Thibs can right the wrongs if they follow the plan. It's a good way to look at it with Delon Wright, man. Delon Wright. He also says players are emotionally hurt when they leave. That's a real attribute of Knicks culture. Yeah, look at what it did to the big Ragu, man. Sent that band into a frenzy. Man couldn't hit a shot. He didn't even know how to shoot when he got to Minnesota. Lost all his powers. My man was just on the GQ set. He was fly and jiggy with the Nova crew. Next thing you know, agent called him and said, hey, how heavy is your winter coat? You going to Minnesota. Just like that. Just like that. Mr. TD, Leon the Professional. Great movie. If you guys haven't seen that movie, great movie. Leon the Professional. I love that movie, man. Yeah, 100% love that movie. Salute to everybody in the chat once again, man. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. CP on the Friday night. Getting to it. A couple of things to catch up on after this show, man. You guys should just be binge watching KFTV like it's Netflix. Tap in with number one Game of the Week preview. Alex and my guy Eric Newman, Knicks versus Boston Game of the Week previews on the channel, on the live tab. Also, you have the interview that I did. Who saw the interview that I did with my guy Anthony Gilbert of Slam Magazine? Great interview, man. And Anthony not only knows the Brunsons very well, as he will tell you in the podcast, he was a childhood friend of the Black Mamba, Kobe Bryant. And through the storytelling, we weave the two on how Brunson and Kobe are intertwined in a very special way. You guys got to watch that interview, man. And Anthony was also featured, and Jalen, they were also featured in Kobe Making of a Legend, which is a CNN documentary, the 3-part documentary, Kobe Making of a Legend. That's on, the final part is going to be tomorrow night on CNN. Very good documentary as well. J Moo, you saw the documentary. Thank you, man. Yeah, amazing conversation, amazing connection that I made with Anthony. He's been following us for some time now, and it's just by chance. And I was watching the Kobe documentary, and I was like, "Yo, this dude looks familiar." Looked him up on the gram, and everything, was set from there. Wilson123, thank you, man. Yeah, that was a great conversation. Definitely recommend it that you guys tap into that. Okay, final thoughts on Leon Omar from the Bronx on the Discord. If you can hear me, Omar, go ahead. Omar, go ahead.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear. How you doing, man?
Yeah, man, it's been a minute. I haven't called in a while, but I'm always listening.
Is this OG Omar?
Yeah.
What's good, my dude? Good to hear from you, man.
I'm always listening. I just haven't called in.
Sure.
Minute,
Yeah, no doubt, man. No, all good. Appreciate it.
Definitely. I'll keep it rapid fire. One thing I don't know if you guys mentioned already, but speaking of this regime, man, one of the best moves that they made was a move that they actually didn't make. We think back to the summer of 2022. Everybody and their mother wanted Donovan Mitchell, right? And the regimes of the past, they would have dumped the haul, traded the entire farm to make a move just to get a big-time name. Nothing against Donovan Mitchell. He's a great player. But regimes of the past, especially in the Knicks, they would have traded everybody just to get that superstar in, just to kind of get that quote-unquote quick fix. Yeah. The Knicks were patient, and it took a lot of heat for that. I remember that summer. They took a lot of heat for kind of passing them up. You ended up going to the Cavs. Ironically, that same year, we beat them in the playoffs. And Who knows that had we pulled the trigger on that, maybe Brunson, his growth was stunted.
Sure.
Maybe he becomes the superstar that he is now. Maybe I'm sure that we want to have the space, the cap space, the trade assets to make those moves, that the very subtle ones that maybe nobody really thought about. The OG move, which at the time everybody hated, including myself. Like, maybe not hated, but I had question marks. Like, we traded 2 young assets for OG, ended up being a big splash. So I'm just thinking back to that time, just having the patience to not pull the trigger at a time where there was a lot of pressure to do it. And I think that year was right after the Fournier year where we kind of took a step back. So just reflecting upon the growth of just this organization and the maturity, I think that was, a big time kind of decision that they made that summer.
Sleeper take by you, man. Rate that call in the chat, man. 1 being trash, 5 being facts. You're right. Go points, man. Omar from the Bronx, man. Appreciate it, bro.
All right, brother, man. Nice hearing from you. Take care,
man. Likewise. All right, that was our guy Omar from the Bronx. Sometimes the best moves you make are the ones you didn't make. Yeah. I crashed out when they missed out on Spider. remember that? I crashed out. They're never ready for their moves like this. I was tight, man. Well, yeah, here we are, man. Brunson proved to be, bona fide. And I was good from there. Once Brunson proved it, I was good, man. We got a superstar here with JB. All right, couple more things. I did field questions for a fan mailbag, and a couple of you did submit it, so I will answer some in the last couple minutes of the show. So let me pull up some of the questions. So to everybody that did submit your questions, so I'm going to answer it, and then I'm going to go watch Lioness Season 2. I'm going to finish watching the Royal Rumble. I'm catching up on the Royal Rumble. I got like 3 minutes left, and then I'm going to finish up on Lioness. So that's how my Friday is going to look. Okay, let me pull up some people here. Okay. Well, so a lot of these are of the same vein in terms of, buyout and what we need. So shout out to Building Blocks on the Twitter side. It says, what position prototype player can the Knicks get via waiver buyout group? I mean, you can get any player, but they need to try to get as big of a wing as they can. TJ Warren is one of the guys. For sure. TJ Warren is one of the guys. What else we got here? Mendoza tweets, my guy 23 Savage, a.k.a. Mitchell Robinson, is loading. How long will it take Mitch to ramp up for full contact practice to play his first game of the season? With Mitch reportedly losing a few pounds, do you expect him to get into NBA shape quicker this time around? I mean, not being an athlete, I have no idea how long it's going to take for him to ramp up. I keep bringing up Stephon Marbury's point. Steph coming from experience, saying, hey, going to take him a while to ramp up and getting to game speed. Practice, just because you're lighter and you're in practice speed, game speed is 100 miles per hour. But it's also important that they get him into the swing of things before the playoffs hit, and then you're going up to 200 miles an hour. It's completely different intensity, much more intense. So I would have to think that this is going to be an after All-Star type of thing. Maybe it's February 21st when they take on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Then they take on the Celtics in another matchup on the 23rd. So I'm looking at those two dates as a potential return for the Block Nest Monster. Tom Thibodeau saying that he's not yet been cleared. So something to keep an eye on there. Wise Guy says, do you think we'll use, he says Dalton, right? He says Dalton Wright. Do you think we'll use Dalton Wright or use him as a trade during the offseason? What kind of moves do you think we'll make during the offseason? Delon Wright, he could get a couple minutes. I don't see why not. It could get a couple minutes. And what they do with him in the offseason, probably send him packing, let him walk. What do they need to make in the offseason? Front court. 3s, 4s, and 5s. 3s, 4s, and 5s. So they have a second round pick in the draft. See if they can get lucky there with an upperclassman ready to produce. Is Dadier ready to take the next step? He'll do another summer league, another full offseason, full training camp. Well, Dadier, hopefully, if he can be ready and take another step, that'll be a good thing for them. And then, free agency. If they have one of those exceptions where they can get somebody of a bit more quality, then I think that's what we're looking at. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. Unlimited Boxes, please stop quoting Marbury. That guy was a hot mess on this team. No, we're not going to stop quoting Marbury because your take is ridiculous. Your take is ridiculous. The guy was an all-star, borderline Hall of Fame numbers, and one of the best players to ever come out of New York. I don't care if he didn't win a game in New York. He's a bona fide NBA player who knows the game. So we're going to sit back and learn. So anybody that wants to crucify the guy because he wasn't successful in his 20s in New York, the guy's over 40. Get over it. That's what I'll say. Doesn't mean the guy doesn't know anything about the game. Like, are you crazy? Some of you guys got to get a clue. We bringing you NBA expertise here for free 99. I don't care what his record here was with this team. I bring Jamal Crawford on this platform. You guys don't say anything. He's on the team. They played together. I bring Quentin Richardson on this platform. They played together. You guys respect their takes, right? There you go. Gotta love Kim. Do you think a decent buyout candidate is going to wait until February 28th? Well, you better hope so. You better hope TJ can stick around. You better hope TJ can stick around. Shout out to Sean Paul. He says, how do you balance the greatest show for the fans by the fans with work and home life? That's a good question. How do you balance, work-life balance? Well, for the past 2.5 years, KFTV is my job, is my career, is my life. So, so in terms of the work-life balance that I had prior to that, I didn't really have much because, I was working a full-time job. I was a VP in an investment bank. I was, very busy doing that and training people and grooming a team while I was handling my own responsibilities. And then at nighttime, I was committed to building the #1 show for the fans by the fans. And so December 2022, I let that go and took a leap, jumped out the window, if you will, to take this on full time. So it's a different beast. It's a different animal. And being committed as an entrepreneur, some say there is no work-life balance. Shannon Sharp always says that. If you want to be great, you're not going to have a work-life balance. But, I try to do my best to balance it. One of the things or a couple of things that allows me to do that, number one, is having a great support system. My family's phenomenal. From my son, my parents, my sisters, I got a great team behind me. Shout out to the Knicks chick, an amazing girlfriend, supportive of this whole thing. And, oh, by the way, is equally a diehard. And so that helps. I'm blessed. You know what I mean? I'm blessed because we're watching the games together, and then she knows that I got to work after that. So, when your partner, your significant other, is someone who is willing to jump in the trenches with you, then you're truly blessed. And then, like I said, my family, truly blessed. Wouldn't replace them for the world. And then the team, man, Alex, Gamba, Tyler, JD, CK, shout out to KFTV, Jalen, all the hosts. I don't want to leave anybody out, but as we've grown over the 8 years, we built an incredible team that can put a show together without me. And that has always been the goal. So, if I have an emergency, if I'm not feeling good, if I'm under the weather, or I got a family thing I got to take care of, we got a group Slack. Hey, this and this has got to go down. Who's here? Who's ready? They're ready. And we can get this thing to go. The show can run without me. And so in year 8, again, incredibly blessed to have a team of passionate, diehard fans, but also fans that are passionate to move KFTV forward. So that's a blessing, man. That's a blessing. I rock with those guys heavy, and they are very committed to the mission. So yeah, shout out to the team, man. I don't want to leave anybody out. Shout out to KFTV Jeff. Jeff Campbell, he just became a father. Bless up to Jeff. Welcome to the club. Shout out to Jeff Johnson, Jake Asman, some of the guys that are covered, Chris LeBron. We built a very good team, man. Like I said, KFTV, Jalen and Tyler, Gamba, Daniel, JD, CK. Don't want to leave anybody out, man. But the entire team, it has been on point. So yeah, so there that is, man. Let me see, couple more. Salute to everybody in the chat. Let me check IG. See if there is anything a little bit different than what we answered. A lot of it was on the trade deadline. When do you think Mitch will play? I did that one. Should the Knicks go to Huck Porty at the 5, Moore Cat at the 4? This is MJF317 on Instagram. Hey, let the matchup dictate. Let the matchup dictate. I think Thibs will do that. Oh, here's a good one. Dante Caruso on the IG side. Who are your unexpected clutch playoff killers? Who's showing up for real? Well, I think we've seen enough in the last 2 years of playoffs to know, no guarantees. But the guy who I'm showing out there in the highlights, number 11, is the real deal in the playoffs. All right, so that's what we need, the stone cold killer. Cat's been a mixed bag. A lot of people want to point to his performance against the Joker, the MVP in Denver, Game 7. Brilliant performance. Gonna need that consistently. Wild card, I'm going to put OG out there. From his defensive tenacity, That, everybody thinks about clutch as in terms of offense. How about getting a stop or creating a turnover? Defense to offense. The dog. Don't sleep on the dog. I was very impressed with his performance in the playoffs as well until he got hurt. And so don't sleep on him to create a monster turnover and then get us a 3 to win a game. I'm going with OG as the unexpected clutch performer. TJ Warren stuff. Do they move Mitch in the offseason? I think all options will be on the table. But let's see how he does now. This is, again, buyout. What moves we need to make. Will Precious, Shamet, or Payne play when Mitch returns, or will Thibs shorten the lineup? This is Kylie M. Threes. Precious is a lot. Precious is a must. Payne will play as a backup point guard. Shamet, I think Shamet will be the guy whose minutes disappear. And that's fine because he's not giving you anything anyway. And you'll see Deuce and Mitch out there. So you go 9-man rotation. You go 9-man rotation. Buyout market is Shamet in the trunk for Delon's defense. Yeah, I think so. Which former Knick currently in the league would you like to see come back this cold on the IG side? Definitely Dante, Big Ragu. Let's get the Big Ragu back here. Can't get him back here, but hey. Just answering the question. Shout out to Huckamania doing the damn thing, man. Again, TJ Warren. Joey Combs, will you cry if the Knicks win a championship again? Yeah, I probably will, man. I probably will. I'll be in the building. Then I'll climb up on the marquee and go crazy with the fans. 7th Avenue will be a parade. The parade will start when the clock hits 0. And it'll go all night. Nobody's leaving. Nobody's leaving, man. So, hey, if we're so lucky to get there, I'll be there, man. I will be there. But, you know where else I'll be? Tomorrow night at the #1 watch party for the fans, by the fans, man. I'm going to be at Clinton Hall 36 for the Knicks versus Celtics showdown, man. 16 West 36th Street. Get your tickets at KFTVWatch.com and KnicksFanTV.com. And I'll see you guys there, man. Nothing left to be said. The #1 watch party for the fans, by the fans. Let's get a W. Doors will open at 7 p.m. So meet me there. I'll see you guys there. Remember that this show's available in audio podcast format. No reason to miss it. Catch us on all major podcast platforms. Salute to the replay gang. Shout out to El Don Tassico. Gets a $10 super chat in. Says Starberry was a 20 and 10 machine. Yeah. Don't take it for granted that we get NBA player input on this channel because no other Knicks channel podcast does that on a regular. Don't take his expertise for granted, man. Don't do that, man. Don't do that. Shout out to El Don Tassico because you know the wave, man. Anyway, I'm going to get back to it. You guys enjoy tonight, and we'll catch up Saturday. We'll have play-by-play with CK2K, and then post-game live, JD and Alex will cover, and then I'll try to jump in at some point after I'll leave the watch party. So we'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Action-packed weekend. Peace.